Hello and welcome back to another video. Today, this video is specifically for people that have not started journaling or are trying to get back into journaling. In my previous video, I gave a couple of great tips as well as shared my story, but this video specifically has tips that I did not mention in the video and I believe are crucial to creating habits. These are new tips, but tips that are more relevant and I have put into practice and I personally believe will allow you to have your journaling become a habit, something that is not guided by momentum or motivation, but purely habit, automatically doing it without even thinking. So stay tuned and I hope you like them. Also, I will be doing my makeup at the same time as I film this. So the biggest mistake people make is that when they start journaling, they stay consistent for about 2 to 3 days and then they stop. That's because they care more about quality than consistency. However, when you're not an expert in something, right, and you're a beginner, naturally your quality will be poor. So to have the intention that you're gonna have the perfect journal entry every single time is telling yourself a lie. So the best way is to actually focus on consistency, not quality. Focus on content, not quality. What I mean by this, putting into example, write 1 line per day. 1 line per day. And I say this because if you try to focus on creating 3 pages, sometimes by the second page that may feel like a chore. And in order for you to create a habit you're actually gonna stick with, you don't want it to feel like a chore when you first start. So if you're able to write 1 sentence per day, 1 sentence, this will allow you to create a habit because it's easy, right? And you're focusing on consistency. So what this line could be about is, what's one thing you're grateful for? What is one thing I can do today to make myself happy? What is one thing that I can forgive myself for? There are a bunch of online prompts that you can start with to make your process easier, and you don't have to think of prompts on the spot. And that goes into my second tip actually. Typically, when you get really good at journaling, you'll be able to figure out what you want to write in your entry, and you can come up with prompts on the spot. However, if you're new to it, naturally, you don't really have a starting point. And if you go online, you have thousands of different prompts you can pick from and delegate them throughout the week. So Monday, you'll do this prompt. Tuesday, you'll do this prompt. If you want, you can open up notes on your phone and actually write down Monday and have the URL to a certain prompt you found on Google. Tuesday, a certain prompt you found on Google, etc. Okay, and the next step I have is to actually have 2 notebooks, have 2 journals. One that already has prompts pre-written in them. I will have photos up here that give an example of what that looks like. And then have another journal that has no prompts in it. So when you can free flow, that just has lines and no prompts. The reason why I say this is because some days we feel incredibly creative. We feel that we could write an entire journal entry without any guidance because we have momentum, we have motivation, we have some creativity flowing within us. But some days, let's be real, we are lazy potatoes. We don't want to be creative. We just want to sit back and relax and not use our brain. This is when journal prompts, specifically notebooks that have prompts in them already, come in handy, right? So some days, a Friday, for example, you had a long work day and you just don't feel like writing down a lot in your journal. If you have that notebook that has prompts ready for you, it is literally just ready for you to put your pen to paper, you're set. The process is easier. There's less of resistance. Okay, and then the next step is to make your journal obvious. Okay, what I mean by that is put it in a spot where you're easily able to see it. So for example, each time you make your bed, make sure to put your journal right on top of your blanket. Because that way, when you are getting out of the bathroom or you're coming back to your bedroom, you see your journal right in front of you, making you more obligated and willing to. Another tip I recommend is to actually track when you do your journaling. So you don't have to do this. I personally track for multiple different habits at the same time. I'll put an image above to give a better description. I currently use a bullet journal for that process. And it's just satisfying for me to color in a box every time, especially if I have a lot of boxes colored in. But it's good to track. You can write this on your calendar. You can write this in your agenda. You can set reminders in your phone. But being able to track every time you journal would be easier for you to hold yourself accountable. And the last tip I have is to actually change your digital environment. And what I mean by that is that naturally you're probably online on your phone at least 80% of the time, right? So if you're actually following people and the content you're consuming is focused on what you want to achieve, is focused on the person that you want to become, naturally you will adopt those habits of the people that you follow, of the content that you're consuming. So actually follow someone that does journaling. I mean, like, this is not a shameless plug. I do post journaling content both on my TikTok and on my Instagram and just kind of everywhere. But the only reason I say this is because I've naturally posted stuff on journaling because it's something that I love. And I actually found when I put it on my private story, I put it online, a lot of my friends who I never thought, I don't know, had similar habits of mine or like would be even interested in stuff like that I do. They were like, hey Asia, I actually started journaling because of you. Or hey Asia, you know that prompt you posted? I actually did that and I feel like a more reflective human being. And people started come to me with questions on how to journal and, you know, what are good journaling exercises for bad anxiety. And I just started to create this authority, and I realized that solely because they chose to consume content around a habit that they wanted to adopt, they felt more encouraged to get into it. So I highly recommend changing your digital environment, the content that you consume, to reflect the person you want to become and the habit that you want to adopt. So that's my So I hope these tips were of some benefit for you and you enjoy this quick little, beginner hack to journaling video.